Now the example or the pattern of the fringes which are obtained in case of Newton's rings when the film which is taken is of air. So in that case the central fringe is a dark fringe, then you get your first bright fringe, then you get the first dark fringe, and so on. So circular fringes, these fringes are observed from the travelling microscope. Now what are the applications of Newton's rings? So the Newton ring experiment, it helps us in determining the wavelength of light, and also it helps us in determining the refractive index of any liquid. So first of all, how this experiment, it helps us in determining the wavelength of the light. Now let's say we have any source whose wavelength is unknown to us. So the light from that source will be made to fall on the glass plate, and those parallel rays, they will be made to incident normally on the lens. That is, the whole experiment of Newton ring is done with the wavelength of, with a source whose wavelength is unknown to us. So we want to find the wavelength of a particular light or wavelength of a source. So that light from that source, it is made to fall on, is used in this Newton ring experiment, and circular fringes, they are obtained with the help of that particular light whose wavelength is unknown to us. So these fringes, they will be easily obtained in case of Newton rings. So we want to find the wavelength of that light correspondingly whose fringes are obtained in case of Newton ring. So what we have in our hand is just the Newton rings which are formed in the experiment. So what we can find is, we can find the diameter of these circular fringes, because these fringes, they are observed with the help of a travelling microscope, and various scales, they are attached to this microscope so that we can find the distance between any 2 points. So you can find the distance you can find the position at this point, and then you will move the travelling microscope and you will cross this central fringe, and then you will calculate the final position at this point. So you will subtract those 2 positions. So these positions, they are read from the scale which is attached to the travelling microscope. So first of all, at one position you will find, at this point you will find the initial position, then you will move the travelling microscope, so the scale which is attached to that microscope will also move, and therefore you will get a final position. Then you will subtract these 2 lengths, so you will get the diameter of any circular fringe. So how this diameter, it helps us in determining the wavelength of a light. So let's say you get circular fringes for the case of a source whose wavelength is unknown to us. Now you will find the diameter of pth order dark fringe. So let's say you find the diameter of 4th order dark fringe. So let's say you find the diameter of this dark fringe. So this dark fringe, so you find the diameter of this fringe, this is the 4th dark fringe. Then you find the diameter of another fringe, let's say the 2nd dark fringe. So you can easily find the diameter with the help of the scales which are attached to the microscope. So you can, first of all, you have to find the diameter of one ring. Let's say you find the diameter of 4th dark fringe. Then you find the diameter of another dark fringe. So dp is the diameter of pth order dark fringe, dq is the diameter of qth order dark fringe. Now we have already seen the dp square, that is for the case of dark fringe, the diameter is given by, so we have seen in the last expression that dm square is equal to 4m lambda r by mu. So the diameter of pth order dark fringe will be equal to dp square is equal to 4p lambda r by mu. Similarly, dq square will be equal to 4q lambda into r by mu. So in this case we are talking about air film, therefore mu will be equal to 1. So putting mu is equal to 1 and subtracting these 2 equations, we will get dp square minus dq square will be equal to 4 lambda r p minus q. So we are just subtracting these 2 equations and we have put mu is equal to 1 for the case of air film. So from this expression we can find the value of lambda. So lambda will be equal to this expression. So on simplifying this last equation, you will get the expression of lambda. So in this expression, we have already found the diameter. So let's say you find the diameter of fourth and the second dark fringe. So d4 square will be known to you. So you can find d4, the diameter of the fourth dark fringe, with the help of microscope, and you can find the diameter of second dark fringe with the help of the same microscope. Divide by 4 times p minus q. So the value of p is known to you. Value of p you have taken over here is 4 and value of q is equal to 2. So capital R is also known to us. So experimentally we can easily find the value of lambda using this formula. So now the second application of Newton's rings is to find the refractive index of a liquid. So to find the refractive index of a liquid, the whole setup of the Newton rings, it is placed or it is immersed in that liquid, so that the film which is formed between the lens and the glass plate, it is of that particular liquid. So the whole setup of the Newton ring, it is immersed in that liquid whose refractive index is to be found out. So in that case also we will get circular fringes. So in this case, in the first case, we knew the value of mu. So the value of mu was known to us, lambda was unknown to us. In the second case, lambda will be known to us and we want to find the value of mu. So dp, in this case also the procedure will be same. You will find the diameter of pth order dark fringe and the qth order dark fringe. So dp square will be equal to this expression, dq square will be equal to this. Then you will subtract these two equations, and now you will not have to put mu is equal to 1, because here we are using a liquid whose refractive index is mu. So for air medium, refractive index is equal to 1. So therefore we had put mu is equal to 1 over here, but over here mu has to be found out. So we will subtract these two equations, and from that equation we will simplify it to find the expression of mu. So on the right hand side, all the parameters, they are known to us. Experimentally we can find the diameters of the dark fringes. So p and q will also be known to us. Therefore we can easily find the value of mu using this expression. Now if the liquid which is introduced between this lens and the glass plate, between this space between the lens and the glass plate, if instead of air there is a liquid, and the refractive index of this liquid, it is such that the refractive index of liquid, it is greater than that of the lens, but it is less than that of the glass plate. So the refractive index of the liquid, it is greater than that of the lens and it is less than that of the glass plate. So the two reflected rays, the light rays which will get reflected, so at this point the reflection will be by the denser medium, because now we are considering a liquid whose refractive index is greater, the refractive index of this liquid, it is greater than that of the lens. So the reflection at this point, it will be by a denser medium, and at this point the second reflection that will take place here, the refractive index of the liquid, it is less than that of the glass plate. Therefore here also the reflection will be by a denser medium. So at both the points now the reflection will be by the denser medium. Therefore the optical power difference will be just equal to 2 mu t. So there will be additional path of lambda by 2 in the first reflected ray, as well as lambda by 2 path will be introduced in the case of second reflected ray also. Therefore lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 will be equal to just lambda. So we can say there will be no change in the path difference. So the path difference, it will remain the same, it will be equal to just 2 mu t. Now when the 2 mu t path difference is equal to n lambda, we will get maxima, and when the path difference is equal to n plus half lambda, we will get a minima. Now in the case of maxima, when you will put n is equal to 0, for that case thickness will come out to be equal to 0. So n, it is an integral, it takes integral values. So when you will put n is equal to 0 in the first expression, t will come out to be equal to 0. So t is 0 at the point of contact. At this point of contact, the thickness of the air film is 0. So now T is coming out to be equal to 0 for the case of maxima. Therefore, when a liquid is introduced in this space between the lens and the glass plate, when a liquid is introduced such that its refractive index is greater than that of the lens, but its refractive index is less than that of the glass plate. So when such liquid is introduced, then the central fringe which is obtained, it is a bright fringe. So when there is air film, the central fringe is a dark fringe, whereas when a liquid is introduced such that its refractive index lies between that of the lens and the glass plate, so in that case the central fringe will be a maxima. So when you will put n is equal to 0, T will come out to be equal to 0, and T is 0 at the central point or at the point of contact. So the central fringe will be a maxima. So the center will be bright. Conversely, bright center in Newton rings implies that T is not equal to 0. Now what is the meaning of this statement? Now when you do the Newton rings experiment in laboratory, so you generally use air film. So only air film is introduced. So the central fringe in case of that experimental setup, it should be always be a dark fringe because we are using air film. So the central fringe should always be a dark fringe, but sometimes it can be seen that central fringe in case of air film, it becomes bright fringe. So it should be a dark fringe, but sometimes in laboratory you will find that the central fringe for the case of air film, it appears to be bright, and this is for the case only when the thickness at the point of contact is not equal to 0. So thickness at the point of contact is always equal to 0, but when in the Newton ring experiment, when we are using air film, so when there is a bright central fringe, so that implies that the thickness at the point of contact is not equal to 0 and some dust particles are present near to the point of contact, or at the point of contact some dust particles are present, due to which the thickness of the air film is not equal to 0 at the point of contact. So there is some optical power difference which is introduced, and hence instead of dark fringe we get a bright fringe. So therefore it is the main precaution in case of Newton ring experiment that whole lens and the glass plate, they should be perfectly cleaned. So there should not be any dust particles. Till now we have been doing the Newton rings which are formed by the reflected light. Now the Newton rings, they are also obtained for the case of transmitted light. So now what is the transmitted light in the case of Newton ring experiment? So the light, it is made to fall normally on the lens or on the thin film. So at the point A, the light ray, it will get reflected, but now we are just talking about the transmitted light. So there will be portion of the light which will get reflected and some of the light it will get transmitted. So when it will get transmitted and it will reach point B, so at this point also there will be partial reflection and partial transmission. So this is the first transmitted light. So at point capital B there will be partial reflection and partial transmission, and this is the first transmitted light. So the partial reflected ray, it will again get reflected at C point. So at C point again there will be reflection and then there will be transmission of the ray. So this will be the second transmitted ray. So these two rays, they will interfere with each other because these two rays, they are obtained from the same ray. So they will interfere with each other. So interference pattern will be observed. So these rays, it will appear to be coming from a coherent sources because these are a part of the same ray. They are originated from the same ray. So the interference pattern will be observed for the case of transmitted rays. Now when one views the Newton's rings by the transmitted ray, that is when one views the rings from this side. So till now we have been observing the Newton rings from the top. that is with the help of a traveling microscope. So there we got the rings which were formed by the reflected light. Now when the rings they are observed, or when this experimental setup it is observed from this side, so we will get the fringes or the Newton rings by the transmitted rays. Now ray 1 and ray 2 they will form the interfering coherent rays, as these have originated from the incident ray, from the same incident ray as shown over here. Now the ray 2, the second ray, now the first transmitted ray, so it is formed, the first transmitted ray is formed when the light is incident, it gets transmitted and then again it gets transmitted. So there is no reflection at any point for the case of the first transmitted ray. But for the second transmitted ray, there is reflection at this point and at C point. So at point B and at point C there are two reflections, and then after that we get the second transmitted ray. So at point B there is reflection by the denser medium, and at point C also there is reflection by the lens, which is a denser medium. So at both the points the reflection is by the denser medium. Therefore lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 path will be introduced, which is equal to lambda, or we can say no path will be introduced or no extra phase is introduced. So the ray 2 it will have additional path both at point B and C. So for normal incidence, the optical path difference between 1 and 2 ray it will be equal to just 2 mu t. So the optical path difference is equal to 2 mu t cos r. In case of reflected light, for the case of Newton rings, it comes out to be equal to 2 mu t plus lambda by 2. But over here we can write either 2 mu t plus lambda, because lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 path is introduced, or you can simply write 2 mu t, because lambda path it will not have any change on the pattern of the interference. So this 2 mu t when is equal to n lambda we will get maxima, and when this 2 mu t is equal to n plus half lambda we will get a minima. So when you will put n is equal to 0 in this case, so this is the condition of maxima. So when you will put n is equal to 0, t will come out to be equal to 0, means at the point of contact you will get a bright fringe. So this is in contrast to the transmitted light. This is in contrast to the reflected light. So in the case of transmitted light, the central fringe it is a bright fringe, because when you will put n is equal to 0, t will come out to be equal to 0, and this is the condition of maxima. So from the condition of maxima we obtain t is equal to 0. So at the central fringe you will get so central fringe it is a bright fringe for the case of transmitted light, whereas it is a dark fringe for the case of reflected light. So wherever there is a dark fringe, then corresponding to every dark fringe there is a bright fringe in case of reflected region. So corresponding to every dark fringe in the transmitted region, we have a bright fringe in the reflected region. So the transmitted pattern it is complementary to the reflected pattern, because the transmitted pattern it has a bright center. So this is the difference between the Newton rings which are obtained by the transmitted light as well as by the reflected light. So this difference is just due to the difference in the path of the two rays. So the Newton rings with white light, till now we have been doing only the monochromatic light source. So now what is the pattern of the interference when the Newton ring experiment is done with the help of a white light? So with monochromatic light, Newton rings they are alternatively dark and the bright fringes. Now the diameter of the ring it depends upon the wavelength of the light used. Now we have already studied the expression of the diameter. So diameter it is dependent upon the lambda, that is on the wavelength. So in case of white light we have 7 components. So all those 7 components they have different ranges of wavelength. So corresponding to all those wavelengths we will get different diameters. So the diameter corresponding to red light will not be the same as that of the diameters of the violet light, because the diameter they depend upon the wavelength of the light used. And in case of white light we have 7 components and all of them they have different wavelengths. So with white light, the central ring it will remain dark. The central fringe which is obtained in case of the reflected light, it is always dark. So in case of white light also, the central fringe it will remain dark, but the bright and the successive dark rings they will have different diameters. So they will have different diameters because diameter it depends upon the wavelength, and they will appear colored. Obviously the path difference in case of the reflected light is equal to 2 mu t plus lambda by 2. So the path difference depends upon lambda. So therefore the fringes which are obtained around the central fringes they are colored. So the path difference between all the reflected light for all the components of the white light is different. Therefore around the central dark fringe we get colored fringes. So only the first few fringes they will be seen. So only few fringes will be colored, since the overlapping of the various colors will cause the general illumination. So first of all we will get a dark central fringe, and around that dark central fringe we will get few colored fringes, and those colored fringes they will be of different diameters, because the diameter it depends upon wavelength. So after those colored fringes there will be general illumination, because after few colored fringes there will be overlapping of various colors. So therefore there will be a general illumination. So there will be irregular pattern after that. So after few colored fringes around the center, so there will be general illumination.